You said Kanye messed up so bad, Kyrie got in trouble.
Man, for real. That is real.
That was funny.
That's real.
But then, like he said the same thing. I told you he didn't apologize right away. He had PR people, he had everybody. He came after the fact, begrudgingly, and then it was still a PR statement, essentially. And that's what messed him up.
Yeah, he didn't do a direct apology.
Last week you said he did.
No, we said he didn't do it. He said he didn't apologize.
Kyrie. I said he didn't right away.
He didn't apologize.
He sure did.
He said he apologized if the comments he was making hurt anybody's feelings, but he said he didn't.
He just posted the movie. He didn't say anything.
Yeah, but then like.
It's the thing. They wanted him to apologize for when they asked him the question about being,
and he didn't want to say nothing.
Yeah, he refused to answer that question,
and that was dumb. I mean, hurt their feelings, but you got to play a game depending on what you want.
All right, come on, let's get there.
You ready?
Yeah.
I mean, we can.
So we're not using these at all.
No, they just put it on. You don't have a mic stand, so these are just kind of for presentation to look the part. You want to put this one closer to you? Nah, that's good. Either way, leave them right here.
Is this active?
What?
This.
Oh. Can you? Next time we bring a tape, we can sit it like right up there.
Yeah. You can leave it there. I mean, how far can it go?
I'll keep it on y'all.
Okay. Yeah, I might have this one on this side and then some other stuff.
And
oh, that don't really get everybody.
It's widening all the way out.
Yeah, this is as far as it goes. Unless I do it sideways, which I guess can work too.
No, or you could just turn it around and just reverse the camera.
no, just keep it like that.
It's like this?
Because you're going to come close and out, in and out. Anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Alright, so we're going to go live.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. And you already tested how we sound and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Word.
Mic sound good. I think you live now.
My mic sound nice. Check one. We gotta be quick because it's almost that time.
Alright, so we good. We here.
What's up, y'all?
It's good.
You know who we are. Unscripted Nonsense.
Uh-huh.
Right here in First Aid Comics in Hyde Park on 55th.
You read books.
Fundamental. Reading is absolutely fundamental.
Alright, so let's get it. Shit. Unscripted Nonsense. We the Fly Nerd Group, man. Kaz G.
Ambi Warhol.
Books read.
That's Dirt School.
LeVar School.
Right.
Shout out LeVar Burton.
So yeah, man. So
Reading Rainbow. Right.
Right.
Take a look. It's in that book. Unscripted Nonsense.
Hey.
Yeah, we were just having a good conversation before we actually started. Just digging into just the shenanigans that have been continuing in Dave Chappelle's poetic and very, very, very creative summarization of it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, it was Dave Chappelle in rare form. I mean, the reason why he's called one of the best comics in our generation. It was very honest. He touched on a lot of things, and then like he made fun. He made it hilarious, although it was tragically sad. Everything from making jokes about Kanye got in so much trouble that he got Kyrie in trouble. To, I mean, that's no matter how. Yeah, no matter how. And then like he said, in all my 35 years I've been doing comedy, there are two words you don't put together: the Jews. And
Wow.
I'm like, dude, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And then, it was a real crazy moment because it was live. And it was
And
like,
they were worried.
and then it was like, as far as Kyrie go, come on, I mean, you all can't just blame black people for all the problems that the Jewish people
Which
live
is
through.
true.
And then like the room got quiet and one guy clapped, and they said thanks for one guy who clapped up there.
Right.
And then he talked about how last week everyone thought the red wave, and I thought, man, democracy was what little we have of it was gonna end because of the midterms, the way it was looking. But
Showed up and showed out.
well, competent number 45. There's a couple of things that can go into that. One, their numbers may be down because they pushed so much of the anti-vaccine.
The people lost faith in the system.
No, a lot of them died. So a lot of them died. Like their numbers have dwindled. A lot of people that could have been alive right now are dead because they believe the propaganda. But he made, even though despite that, but what Washington said, the pundits say, he said he stayed in Ohio and he hear it every day. He said when people, when he came out on that debate and he said the system is rigged, and he said Hillary and Obama, like, no, it's not. He's like, yes, it is. I paid y'all money to help me out. And then that did really happen. And then he said that's why people still like him. He said people see him as an honest liar.
An honest liar.
Talk about oxymorons.
That's what Chapelle called it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. An honest liar. I like that.
Yeah, but it's
I'm gonna tell the truth about you. I'm just gonna lie about me.
Yeah.
Right.
No, yeah.
Or the truth, throw it in your face, and you can still.
It's trick knowledge.
Yeah, it's tricknology.
It's tricknology.
That's what it is. It's tricknology.
He's taking a kernel of truth, but he's wrapping it in a lie.
What was that? What's that statement? The greatest trick the devil pulled was making
the world believe he didn't exist.
Yeah.
And that's a good way to look at
Usual
it.
Suspects was one of my favorite
Yep.
movies.
That still is, yeah. I watched that about a few months ago.
Kmax Soze?
Oh my god.
I didn't come in with my walking stick today.
Oh my god.
RZA used that for Assassination Day.
Yeah.
It's fun hearing those samples.
Yeah, and especially the way they use them because it worked out.
Yeah,
it worked well in that
It worked
one.
very well.
Yeah, well, but then why you talking about irrelevance? Because 21 Savage, he came out with an album with that what was he? R&B crooner, somewhat
I
tough
heard
guy.
it was a Drake album.
Yes, no, it's a collabo. But then like they said,
It's a Drake album.
He said that he was in Clubhouse or some blog something, and he was like, because everyone's talking about King Disease came out, King Disease 3, which actually isn't bad. I'm not super Hit Boy fan, but lyrically what Nas was talking about was pretty dope.
Okay.
And so the host mentioned that, and 21 Savage was like, he's irrelevant, man. All these old guys are irrelevant. But then someone said, like, wait, dude, Nas didn't mention you on his album or talk about you at all, but you got his name in your mouth. Who's really relevant? And then, like, someone said he was butthurt because they came out with an album, too, with, what's his name? Drake? Drake? Drake. Yeah, that dude. And no one really cared about that album. Aubrey.
Yeah.
Aubrey.
Well, that's cool, but we got some local shit.
Some real shit.
Yeah, we had some shit that popped this weekend that was pretty dope. We end up it was two separate things that went on at the same time. I hate when Chicago schedules shit like that.
It just always be like that.
Yeah,
We had to divide the resources.
Yeah, so first off, we went out. And,
Team 1, Team 2.
Yeah, Team 1. Gold team, blue team. You
Yep,
know what I mean? Gold team went to the Philmore, Greene,
and Apollo Brown listening
Cost of
session.
Living album listening session, and it was pretty dope. It was at CRC Studios.
It was the culture was there.
Yeah,
the culture was there,
yeah.
which was that was
And
the biggest thing.
let's insinuate on that because I think that was very important because we got the invite, right? It was very imperative that he said make sure the Fly Nerd group attend.
Okay.
We came through, so I'm thinking like who's going to be
Like,
who's
what's
the
this
who?
really?
Yeah, what this going to be about? And just to be in the crowd, man, it was all peace and love. Like you seen real music enthusiasts real people about the culture, real DJs, real artists. You know what I mean? Real podcasts.
Yeah, real podcasters. The real tastemakers and influencers of Chicago.
Yeah,
and I showed up too.
I don't know why you said that.
Because I was gonna go in and say there's no fake cats there. You know what I mean? It was no ass kisses there. You know, it wasn't no dudes who just wanted to be there and showing out and nothing like that.
Showtime.
Fake ass bloggers, fake ass.
Yeah, the people that just want to clout chase.
Yeah, clout chasers and all that. It was none of that.
No bravado, none of that.
None of that.
So my fire.
You know.
Everybody. Oh my goodness.
So it was dope. It was a dope environment and dope thing that we was there to experience. Shout out to 914 Media Group, Easily Offended Podcast. What's the other Chicago one? I'll get at y'all later. But yeah, it's
all of them.
Yeah, all of them. They was all there, and that was the media.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was podcasters. It wasn't.
It's today's.
It wasn't
outlet,
no fake radio
media.
cats who don't know music
and don't care about
and
it.
Can't even play it anyway if they had.
That's really what
you know what I mean.
Right.
So no, it was dope. So and shout out to Philmore. He was there. He hosted it. Apollo Brown was there as well. A host of others. I Am God, Vic Spencer, Fifth Element. You know what I mean. BVAX, who's going to be at the Haymarket with us on
November 20th. Yep.
Yeah. So he was up there. Sean Doe.
There's a lot of people in there.
A lot. Shout out to
Rashid Hadi.
Rashid Hadi, of course, he was up there.
Yeah, he was in there.
GQ the teacher.
Yeah.
Peace.
Yeah, everybody keep GQ in your thoughts for real.
Yeah.
If you pray, put them in that too.
Yeah. Health is the ultimate wealth.
Health is the ultimate wealth. Like what KRS once said, we not gonna need nothing else but health, wealth, and knowledge of myself.
Yeah.
You know, take care of yourself because we're all in that age. We met a Mopass. We talked about that last week. We're at that age where the ones who aren't taking care of themselves it's starting to be seen. Yeah, the consequences are showing this on the surface. It's not able to be hidden anymore. So.
And we're too old to have health scares. You know what I mean? It's like the health scare could turn to something. So
really I wouldn't say we're too old. I mean, like a lot of us that still have our parents. I mean, our parents are older than us with less technology, less resources.
Well, I'm specifically talking about the hip hop culture because there's even with the way hip hop is now, it's a lot of drinking, a lot of smoking,
there's
a lot of drugs,
unhealthy.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't know.
How the hell does Mick Jagger and Aerosmith do it?
They got that's a conversation that we can actually have.
They have insurance. Got doctors.
They have better business. They get better deals.
Different class of business.
Yeah. Rock stars are treated differently by the industry. They're not disposable artists.
Right.
That's number one because hip hop is fighting just to have the elders and the OGs of the culture perform.
Right.
Yeah. Like how hard is it to get Big Daddy Kane, Dougie Fresh, and people of that generation to all do shows and tour around the way Aerosmith, or even like with soul, the OJs and all R&B acts are able to do that. But hip hop, we have a shelf life. You get your 5 to 10 year spread, and it's supposed to be between 20 and 30. And after that, they don't want to see you.
You're talking about mass media and basic sheep imbeciles.
Well, yes, absolutely. The same people.
And I mean in those terms.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the Nas Wu-Tang, they toured. You know, it's still a lot of guys that tour and do shows and people come out.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we're
But that's the longevity of music and being an artist and all of that because, you know, just like rock and roll, Mick Jagger can come out and perform songs from 30 years, 20 years. So can a Tribe Called Quest. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So can De La Soul. So can all these artists, Ice Cube. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of cats could still hit the stage and do what they was here to do.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But then,
but you gotta stay healthy to do that.
You gotta stay healthy because otherwise.
But then it also leads into like what I mentioned even last week that it does matter the healthcare. Like this is a country that just promotes death. FDA in bed with the CRC. I mean not CRC. Why am I
They was in the studio too?
Yeah, they're in the studio. At the end. No. Why am I thinking about the CDC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
disease 3. That's what it was. Yeah.
No, but then so that's not most of the products on the shelves are designed to make you sick eventually.
Yeah, because the two wealthiest careers in America were doctors and lawyers. Doctors need you sick and lawyers need you criminal.
Right.
I mean, what we talking about here?
Business.
So, it's business as usual. You know, like the Joker said, it's all part of the plan.
Yeah.
So, and that's always hyper focused into the what are the so-called minority communities, right? Mm-hmm. And that's where hip hop sprung from. So there's a lot of that's still tangible in people's lives, even though they may get some money, they still don't know how to live that.
It's the cost of living, man.
Cost of living, which is the point.
Like Philmore album, and like how he was dissecting certain things,
the levels, the way we were living,
and everything into these records. As far as like Philmore, I always, I listen to a lot of Philmore. I got all his projects or whatever. Mm-hmm. And this one stands out because this is more of like an album to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. It's more focused and refined, and it's definitely specific.
Yeah,
he has a goal, he had a theme, and it had a purpose.
Right. But then that's Philmore most times. Most times he's always rapping with purpose.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah. Absolutely. Well, it's not that he's not. We saying that he didn't rap with purpose, but this album definitely. He didn't slack on anything. Yeah, he didn't slack on anything.
Center of attention.
He was delivering a narrative and providing commentary on the cost of living on all aspects of it. Right. He talked about health.
Right.
He talked about finances.
Right.
He talked about just regular hood struggles.
Right.
He talked about just being black. He talked about what we go
achieving
through.
Goals, even socially, what you do
maturity.
When match your maturity, or what you do when you make this. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things aspects that he touched on. The production was dope.
Very solid. Very solid.
You can hear everything in the pocket and everything. So it was pretty dope, man. Shout out to Apollo Brown. Chopped it up with him a little bit.
And that album comes out tomorrow.
Yeah, well, midnight.
Midnight tonight.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, I got there late, so I was at another event.
So where were you?
Yeah. Where did the blue team go?
Well, I'm on blue team, man. Why can't I be platinum team? Anyway.
Because you don't read X-Men.
Right. I do read X-Men. How dare you insult me? You will pay, or you will pay. But seriously, being the platinum guy, went to Haymarket Brewery. In case you know when you all didn't know, but we made a beer. It's a collaborative beer. We had one that was just branded, which was a pale ale back in the summer.
Extra pale ale.
Yeah, so that was called Fly Nerd Flex, and now we actually brewed this past beer with brewmaster Pete, and
curated the recipe and all that.
And so we did that from scratch. We actually physically did the work. Look out for the footage.
Laborious.
Adding the hops,
doing the brewing. Some plums.
Yeah.
And that's what it's called because it is a robust porter, and it's infused with lots of plum puree. And it has
brown sugar that we added before the fermentation, which actually smoothed out the bitterness of normal porters. Mm-hmm. Normally when you have porters, they're pretty bitter and like not very tasteful. But this was very smooth, and as it was last Wednesday, with the finale being at Haymarket Brewery on Saturday night,
right,
same time as the listening session. It was the beer summit, and so I didn't know that Haymarket. Shout out to Mike. I didn't know that Haymarket does this whole thing where he did outreach to minority brewers. Mm-hmm. A couple guys, they started in their garage. They didn't have all the equipment naturally that Pete has in Haymarket, but yeah, they definitely Pete did one with Sam Ross, who also works with us.
Shout out Sam Ross.
Shout out to Sam.
And then like the whole theme of it was 4 bears. The theme of all of them was called The Stroll, which is based on Bronzeville, because Bronzeville in its golden age, people you would have all those places up and down 43rd Street, King Drive, and that's why it's called The Stroll. It's a Stroll series. And the one that Sam made, Pete said that Sam picked the maple barley and everything, and it's really good. And they also had an iconic historical black character. Like they had the wife of Louis Armstrong for one of the beer. Moore Brewing Company. They did a variant too of theirs, and it was Funky Town. Funky Town Brewery. Yeah. They had Nat King Cole, and it was a couple other people. I forget the other two, but it was a whole thing. I know it was really good because it was a capacity crowd, no seats, standing room only, and everyone was trying to be. And while I was there, I also pushed. I was mentioning hey, because now Plumfoolery is on the actual menu, so you can look for it or tap number 4.
Right.
But Mike said it's successful, and people saying that Abby was saying people who tried Flex 1, Volume 1, they're hey, why don't you try 2? And it's going over really well.
That's good.
Nice.
So,
That's good.
but then each of the brewers all had stories about their migration, why they chose the icon that they did. It was really an enlightening experience, and then you learn a lot about Bronzeville and everyone's inspiration for their particular brew.
That's dope.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
So, yeah, man, that's dope. We do the Haymarket.
Yeah. We've got that residency
Sunday.
with them.
Yeah, we have the residency there. So, Plumfoolery is the Fly Flex Volume 2.
No, issue 2. Still
Issue
volume
2.
1. Yeah, we still in
Still
the first
volume 1.
Yeah, there's always 5 issues in a volume.
Ah, so
Is it?
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you go through issue 1 of a comic, you read that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what's in the first volume.
Why don't we do it like that? Why don't we just do Volume 1, Volume 2?
Why? Why deviate from the comic?
We're doing issues.
Yeah.
And then that's a collection.
Yeah, then that's the first collection. You got your pack that you sell.
Right.
I'm tired of Volume 1, man. I'm ready to move on to the next series. I'm already in Phase 7, man. I don't want to do Phase 5.
Speaking of people who are living in the future,
Yeah.
Big
Mr.
Spencer.
Kane over here.
Right. Big Spencer also dropped
But you get a little
another album,
variant.
Yes, he did. Impact.
It's a serious.
What's the acronym for Impact?
I'm not even going to try to remember that.
It's like something
It's dope, though.
today.
Doesn't the record have an Obi strip on it? Is that the same record that had an Obi strip on it? I think the vinyl.
I haven't seen it. Actually, I looked at it, but I was just so enthralled by Vic's wordplay and he was spitting on this album.
Yeah.
There was this. It's interesting watching these are the Chicago nows. These are the apexes of the culture, and we looking at Philmore doing what he doing and the maturation of his lyrics and where he's at right now, and we're looking at Vic Spencer with his album and both of their bars.
I must punch a car today.
There you go. That's messed up.
Impact. Y'all follow Vic Spencer on the gram or whatever.
Yeah, stay in tune with him. Stay in tune with Phil.
Yeah, that is a
That's it, like you said, that's the scene. That's the scene, and that's why I felt like last night it was it was solidifying a lot of shit. Vic was in attendance. You know what I mean? And it's just those two. Is Phil. I don't want to truncate the whole scene to 2 people, but you know what I mean.
But I mean, those are the ones that are the ones to see.
Yeah,
that's the top of the food chain right now.
I would beg to differ. I like Saba, and let's not forget. Yeah, let's not forget John.
Saba's in that school that came out with, in the same with Chance the Rapper. So they already achieved their success and greatness, and they're legends already.
But you're saying it would be an exclusive, not saying.
No, that's not what we're talking about. Specifically, this particular school of hip hop culture.
Well, I just don't like the idea of separatism.
No, we can't name everybody. We talking about the people who just dropped albums.
You can name Dylan.
There you go. So Rashid mentioned last night he got something in the tank too.
Yes, he does, and I'm waiting for that because to me he's a secret weapon for real. He's a producer, rapper. The combination is sick because the beats is just as dope as the bars. You know what I mean? And
beats are ridiculous. And the bars are dope too.
Yeah. So and he got a particular.
And he's got a song
that I like.
Yeah, he's got a song on. I think he's the next to last track on the album.
On the album.
On Philmore Green's album.
Yeah.
It is the last track.
Oh, it is the last track. Okay.
Yeah. And then let's not forget Cam B, who was also in attendance. He got an album with Neek. coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Word,
true.
that's
that
right.
is true. He
Yeah.
was in attendance as well. Shout out to Cam B. Shout out to Nick. They did a little event too
At the store.
The
The fly store? No, it was somewhere else.
I think it was somewhere, but it was dope. It looked dope. We wasn't there, but shout out to them anyway, man. And there's a lot of stuff just circulating in the city, which it's pretty dope. It was pretty dope to be there. It's like a reunion. I couldn't stop saying hello to everybody. And shit like
It was a family affair.
Yeah, it was
a
definitely
family affair.
So yeah, man. So thing about family, when it comes to family, sometimes you have gains and losses.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you got to know how to persevere and move forward when these certain arrangements and situations come into play. So that leads us into the movie we saw. Well, I saw for the first time.
Yeah, we talking about Black Panther 2: Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so first time seeing it, so you get that fresh perspective.
I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
Just give you some time back, or just history, just how I felt about like Marvel Phase 4 in general.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't too.
It ain't really moving.
Yeah, it didn't move me. You know,
Not at all.
It was a few things that popped. Spider-Man, and
I actually
the
like
Werewolf
the
by Night.
Yeah.
By Night.
I like the TV series.
And
I mean, I like the Loki series.
Yeah.
I like
Phase 4.
Yeah, that's
That's Phase 4.
Okay, well, yeah, Loki,
the
WandaVision, that's Phase 4.
WandaVision,
And
Falcon and Winter
Soldier.
that's Phase 4. Okay,
Yeah.
well, all right.
I like Miss
They
Marvel.
really only had officially 2 movies in Phase 4, right? It's,
No.
No, it's like 5 movies, dude.
Black Widow.
that was before Phase.
No, that's
But the story was bad.
No,
That's
that's
the start of Phase 4. Stop it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
That,
the camera
Shang-Chi.
on.
No,
Yeah.
the movie
That
takes place
Shang-Chi,
No, but it's-
Spider-Man, Doctor
Because that was
Strange.
against Val.
So Spider-Man was great.
I thought that was. I like Eternals.
You didn't like Spider-Man?
I did like it, but then like for all that villainy, man, I was let down. It was.
What?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Why? Because they was in the apartment?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. I just thought the second one, Far From Home, was a better movie.
Okay, well that's fair. But I think for Phase 4, I like the Spider-Man. What other movie came out?
So
It was Eternals, Doctor Strange 2, and Thor.
Shang-Chi.
I don't like none of that shit. So yeah. So now it leads us to Wakanda.
Which
Forever.
is this is the next to last movie of Phase 4.
This is the last
I thought
movie.
Ant-Man was the end.
Ant-Man's on
that's
Phase
Phase
5.
five.
Man, pay attention, man.
See, I don't trust it for sure because
Wait, why would we sit up there and lie to you?
Like we Bible.
Like all I did was say I didn't know it was
Marvel. No, okay, so this is the last movie of Phase 4.
Oh, yes.
They had to close it out with a bang, and I actually enjoyed this movie, to answer your question. Yes. I went in, it was a lot of variables that was swimming around this movie.
Yeah.
Pun.
oh, just
Like a fish out of water.
That didn't hook you?
That not hooked me at all. Shang-Chi.
Right.
So you get this movie, the continuation of Black Panther 2, the tragic events of Chadwick Boseman passing away.
Which they made a part of the story.
They made a part of the story. It brought a lot of questions, a lot of conflictions amongst the fans and everything. There was actually a recast T'Challa movie.
That's
It
a
was
fool.
going on protesting.
That's a fool's errand at this point.
Well, I mean, it's over now.
I mean, but even still, one, a lot of people that was on that hadn't seen the movie yet. Two,
None of them saw the movie.
Yeah, that was my.
one main progenitor of that did see it and still felt that way.
Oh, and that's what I want to get into.
Yeah.
Because after
Because it moved. It's
came out,
movement.
yeah, it was a movement,
Yeah.
and people was hurt.
Yeah.
Like, conflicted. Like, oh, it's a good movie, but
Yeah.
T'Challa not there, and it really. splits.
Yeah,
It's another reason to split and divide.
So here's a trick to this. So there's this guy that was just talking about the fact that the people that are saying this didn't actually see the movie. They believe that this is all just like false flagging. People are just trying to complain. Because there's a particular site, and forgive me, I can't remember the name, but they do the, as you walk out of the theater, they ask you in real time what you thought of the movie, and that's how they build their stats. And they through that process, gave Black Panther Wakanda Forever an A+. But at the same time, there was a bunch of people who fabricated that they said it was an F-. And all these blogs ran with this.
Of course, just like they do with Star Wars series and movies.
Right, and the trick is that, again, these people created a lie, pushed this lie, and a bunch of other people ran with it without even knowing if it was true. So
Because people don't read.
most of these people that is talking about this movie and complaining didn't see the movie that way.
Because if they've seen it, then they know that there will be yet another. But then, even beyond that, it was.
But what it was good.
I mean, I think it's better than
Well,
one.
I will put it to you like this: Ryan Coogler had to deal with the best. He had the lemons, had to make the lemonade, and he made strawberry lemonade. Yeah, some strawberries.
And it was
So yeah.
Yeah.
But
Even with that, it was like there was women that was saying like, oh man, they emasculating the men, and then it was
they emasculated men.
yeah, by not recasting. Wait, let me finish, man. By not recasting T'Challa, and like that was a faction. It was another faction. How can you be the most technologically advanced country in the world and die? Superman forever.
So I do have
Cut me
theory
off,
about
man.
that,
You
too.
keep cutting me off because you keep cutting me off. I let all you all talk. So those are all things that was very interesting, and then like even more so, one, I say it again, reading is fundamental because Shuri does become the Black Panther. The Black Panther is a protector of Wakanda. It's not necessarily in good theory, it's both the king and the protector, but there was times after the Doom War storyline that after like Thanos, then Doom came in raiding for the vibranium, and T'Challa was an inch of his life that Shuri has stepped in and become the Black Panther. So that is a real thing. People don't even know that much.
that is true. People don't know that much, but I don't think people had the chance to really get into the story, and that was one of the arguments that was with the recast T'Challa. Because after watching the movie, I kind of put all of this into, into my decision of how this all affects, because T'Challa do have storylines that's very inspirational and imperative that could have been included into if they...
You mean for more movies?
Well, from the comic books and everything. You know what I mean? He isn't in... Just as Captain
Illuminati
America... just as Captain America... Black Panther got shit. Hey man, I seen that one where Spider-Man was kicking in Wakanda, getting the corner. You know what I mean? Like, I want to see shit like that.
Yeah.
And the Storm and T'Challa relationship.
Yeah, we'll never get that.
Wow.
Why not never? So that's what I'm saying.
Because
now he's gone.
Because now Key is now the mother.
Yeah, they gave that's now the connection for the child. And if there's no T'Challa, then Storm can't meet T'Challa.
Right.
And we're about to get a Storm, I'm sure. Because
so was this the right thing to do?
Yes.
Should they make this a series and then wait till the boy grow up and make the movie?
No. I think it was timely for a lot of reasons. One, because the initial storyline was going to be T'Challa lambing on 5 years gone and what was gone, the turmoil in, because there were factions of the country that agreed with Killmonger, and they're not happy in the direction that the country was going in, and it's vice versa, people that was on Team T'Challa. I like the fact that in the movie, no punches were pulled. Like, the dialogue was real when Ramonda was mad at Okoye and said, like, yeah, you and your treacherous ass husband sat up there, like, went against my son when Killmonger threw him over in the river. You sided with him. And then, like, that, and then, like, M'Baku was like, yeah, you all let Killmonger sit up there and burn your precious herb. Like, the dialogue, there was no punches pulled. It wasn't like tap dancing around. It was like,
no, it was full consequences, and that's why I like this movie, because first of all, for me, and you asked me what did I think about it, the first thing that I enjoyed about this movie was the tone. It was no jokey jokes, no
none of that. You're right.
They didn't even play the music doing the thing.
Nah, they didn't play music in some scenes at all. It was quiet as shit.
Dude,
all that emotion.
Yeah, for all the emotion to suck in. So it was the tone itself to me was dope because I'm like, all right, we in a serious movie here. Let's take this serious. Let me take all this in. Let's get into cinematography. Awesome.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Original as fuck.
Original as fuck. And just great with the scenery. We going to see more of Wakanda expanding it. You know what I mean? We getting to see Namor and his
Whatever
world.
that place is called.
Talakan.
Yeah.
Talakan.
So yeah, and the way he shot it, it's like, okay, people was complaining like, oh, it's so dark. Well, if you're going beneath the
deep
sea,
there's no light.
Yeah,
that's basic physics. Reading the fundamentals.
Today's statement: reading is fundamental.
Reading.
Yeah,
Unscripted Nonsense, episode 1, by the way. Reading is fundamental.
Exactly.
That's the title. Right?
So then, like, I mean, they had a discussion about, I mean, some people just saying things and people gravitating to what people say versus read a book. Someone literally told me, like, what do you need to read a book for?
What do you mean? In relation to what?
Verifying what's being said and having nuance when you talk. So it's just interesting. But, yeah, that being said, just like we were saying, like, people going off a lot.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, just like that.
So imagine if they do that for comic book movies, and these are the same people that we relying on for voting, for decision making on series.
That's not the same thing. Two different systems.
So the people are going to be rational and read for that purpose, and research and investigate who they voting for.
No, that part.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, but you're saying the general populace. Yeah, that part. It's a joke that Larry David did in one of those crypto commercials during Super Bowl, and they were like showing through the time like why look the toilet, like why we have a toilet, we go take a crap in the woods like a human being, like it was a joke. It's Larry David, and then there was like and then he was like supposedly with George Washington in the 1700s, and like we're gonna have democracy. And he was like, even the stupid people get to vote? Dude,
it's real like that.
I like that little
bit.
We're in a crisis.
Back to Wakanda, where what do I feel about the male presence in the movie? Obviously, it was women-led movie. Let's not play any games here. In Baku, he had the comic relief and he had a few scenes here and there, but he was the punching bag. Everybody tested how strong they are by punching them.
Because
Baku.
he's the one.
Yeah,
he's the strong one.
I mean, it wasn't that much male presence. It didn't mind me. I mean, for me, I love women, G.
Yeah, I don't even think about that.
Like, I just see women, beautiful black women on screen. Who am I to complain? Why am I mad? I'm not mad. I enjoyed the movie. I think they carried it. I think it was dope. You know what I mean? The action scenes was dope. The bridge scene was pretty dope.
She actually used Euler's equation to determine the angle, which the shooter projectile the drone. Physics is fun. That's math and physics. I mean, the stuff they were mentioning, like the stream that they use, it's a term for it, but it's a stream like an undercurrent that they use to go from the cave to the main capital city of Talakan.
Yeah, that's true.
And it was also interesting the parallels of how water was important, because if you look at the opening scene for when they when they opened the gates, they were using a water-based touch system to control the gates.
Yep. That's true. It's that parallel that they also used, that conversation in Matrix Reloaded, where Neo was talking to their basically the leader, while he was in Zion, and he was like, "So your point is that humans need machines and machines need humans."
Right? Yeah.
It's like it's always that circle, and that was the whole point of the story. Is that
it's a circle of life.
It's the black and brown coalition.
Yeah, and that too. And let's get into Namor. I think that motherfucker was wrong.
Tanoch, how do you say Tanoch Morta? Yeah, he was in Narcos and a couple other things.
He's a great actor.
He was
very good.
He was a good villain. See, that's a real villain,
and he survived.
Well, this Namor, you can't kill him. I want to see how he acts with Fantastic Four pop up.
Yeah.
That's gonna be some issues. I want to see what he do with Sue Storm. Like,
They're gonna have to bring a Sue Storm that I can believe that this guy's gonna switch though.
He gonna have to.
Yeah.
Sue Storm is the switching.
She got dual hook. Like what's going on?
Yeah.
And she invisible woman.
Something going on.
And right now in the MCU, Namor is now the oldest mutant because he dated back to the 1500s, which also tied into the keep forgetting the Irish dude name from the Eternals. That was that. That was the same group of people he stayed with.
Oh, those were.
Yeah.
Wow.
I like Eternals. Like it's a lot of stories.
I like Eternals.
I don't like it, but
I did.
I think this movie was dope. I like the fact that he was a mutant. I was waiting for that. He said, "I'm a mutant."
And he said it blatantly.
Yeah, he said, "I'm a mutant." He was like, "Yes, sir. And this is how we go." And then he started doing all his rebellious shit. I fuck with that. I fuck with that energy. I hope they keep that energy for mutants because they are the rebel rousers. They're not the Avengers. They're not the heroes.
They're not here to fight for people's other
they're not here. They're fighting for their rights. For their rights. I want that energy to sustain with the mutants. I love it. Just flying, the effects, the strength, the battle. Even Bakusei strong as the Hulk in them.
Yeah, and you saw it because he was grabbing helicopters.
Yeah, just tossing.
Because like it's the way his body processes oxygen. Like it's like the fly. They said the flying sun because he's not really flying. He's more
he's
like
running on the water.
Air. He was more like flowing like a breeze. So that was dope. But then the way that the herb affected their whole race. That's why all of them consume it, and then like they're almost like a army of super soldiers.
Yeah,
that's why he said you will not win.
You said you have an army as men straying into your grass.
Yeah.
An army for one strand of grass.
Yeah.
All right, my dude.
Yeah.
So I think with like, all right, because it has to be a topic. Aquaman and Namor.
Listen, there's no comparison now. They shut that down.
I don't think they shut it down. Just two different stories. They didn't make
two different stories.
Yeah.
So it's just different approaches of how to film the water.
Right.
That was like, this is dark.
James Wan did a good job for a character that no one care about Aquaman really.
And I think people care about Aquaman. They care about that guy that played Aquaman.
But look, I use for example. Remember when Aquaman, Batman vs Superman, them girls started singing?
Yeah, that's so weird.
They started dancing like ninjas down in the water.
Yeah, like ninjas.
Yeah. Rick and Morty.
And when they was singing in the mud, I thought that was part of the soundtrack. I'm like, what?
No, that was brilliant. That was like a mermaid sort of siren.
The sirens of the story.
Never start walking off the ship. So I was like, oh.
Because you've heard that mythology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The sailors that singing.
That caused the ship to crash into the rocks and stuff. Old girl that he brought down in a helicopter. That was supposed to be one of Doom's right-hand women. I forget her name.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, that was.
So I got a theory, and I'm gonna say this right now. Just get it out of the way. There's two things that I noticed in this movie that are unanswered, but they connect very clearly. Number one, he was sick through some mysterious cause, and they needed the herb because the herb rejuvenates you and heals you.
Right.
But he had an unknown, out of nowhere sickness that they couldn't fix. With all that,
I was kind of like this one.
Right. Now, hold on. So then, at the end, you find out that he had a son that he hid away.
Right.
Why you hiding your son? Who you hiding your son from? Who trying to kill you? Who poisoned you? I think that's going to be a later story that's going to come out there. Somebody is fucking with him and trying to break whether it's a government or a new government. Yeah, like the question he said, a new superpower, one that we know about. It's like we're now introducing these world powers that are not on the mainstream, like a Latveria.
Yeah,
you know, like we're getting that space now where they're clarifying that there's places that are sovereign that the world governments can't touch.
Shout out to Julia Dreyfus. What's her? Forget.
I don't know.
Shout out for one girl from Seinfeld, Val.
D. Fontaine.
Yeah.
Director of. Is she the CIA? FBI director?
She's not an alphabet person.
Yeah, but what is she director of? Because he called her director. But who does he work for? I
mean, at one
The
point,
Thunderbolts. No.
I mean, in the comic, she was like the Queen Hydra.
Yeah, she was Queen Hydra.
I think she still technically will be, but not because there's variations of Hydra.
I think they're trying to reform and regroup, so it depends on how they present themselves. She could still be Hydra at this point, but we don't know what they're doing.
But they're like Ra's al Ghul in the League of Shadows. Sometimes they serve a purpose that works, and sometimes they don't.
I like all the geopolitical references as far as superpowers like France, First World Nation, and they were invading, quote unquote, what they thought were poor countries for their resources and plundering.
Mm-hmm.
Like both Namor saw that. He's like, just like everyone want to rewrite history again, read this fundamental with the Spaniards and what they did to the Yucatan Peninsula and all those areas, how they were enslaving the Aztecs and stuff like that. And then they want to, so that was cool. And now how literally the French president, everyone got aired out in real time with the mercenaries that they said that. They marched them in.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah,
all right. So first of all, I just want to talk. Let me pod for a second. The theater y'all picked was disgusting.
I didn't pick that.
The audience was not there. Like these scenes, I'm the only one clapping and get them all, and everyone.
That wasn't that. They were not in tune. But I mean,
it's New City. But then even beyond that.
You had to say that like Wesley Snipes, Ice-T, New Jack.
I personally would still want to see it on Dolby and Icon, but
Weston's probably one that or Icon. Yeah, those are the two.
My eyes hurt all Thursday night from because I went to go see Collie Buddz. He was at the bottom lounge, and my eyes were sore because the screen was so blurry. I was like, man, I thought I know my vision may be gone, but it wasn't that bad. But it's the cameras. It wasn't clear. Like I would not go back there to see another movie.
And that was at New City too.
That was at New City, yeah. I got to pick the seat I want. I got to sit up and in the center. But that's why I always.
That theater wasn't popping. I need to see it again in another type of environment. But that scene was dope. I think Namor, everything that you was talking about, the geopolitics was dope. All right, so the Queen. Angela Bassett.
Yeah,
she is a boss.
I got mad because they killed her. I was like, dude, you killed your best actor in the movie.
But they're like
that. But it was a necessary moment.
It was necessary, but
you gotta have stakes.
And Namor's threat was clear after that.
Yeah,
he pointed at that mother and said, "Yeah."
But he
gave her a fucking Goldberg.
You're next. When he was on the surface and he was talking to her, remember when anyway. When she was on the sand on the beach and they were talking that second time when she was luring him out and she made her little comment about we gonna do this then he said he leaned in I was like oh shit this is terrifying dude turned straight
When it came to presence and villains his presence when the presence show you get up right it's like okay what are you about to do that was very exemplified in this movie and he definitely did that job Thanos level of scary,
and it was just like boom, because he seemed so cool when he was down there with Shuri, talking, explaining everything, because he felt we could relate. Because you want to burn the world down.
Yeah, you want to burn the world down too.
Yeah,
I'll rock with you, but let's do it together.
Yeah. Words are of course I believe that in real life, but wholeheartedly, I like Shuri because initially I put on the post. Everyone knows it. I didn't think Letitia Wright could carry it. Yeah. I was wrong. She brought it, and what she brought to the role, one, it exposed a lot of things. All this time, when everything was good, she never believed in Bosch. She never believed
in technology.
She's
science.
Yeah, right. She never believed in none of that. Even though in Thor: Love and Thunder, we as the fans, we saw her God there sitting in that room with
we saw Beth.
Yeah. So, but then that was interesting. Because she said if she get this cure, then she'll believe in you. But then even more so when she took the synthetic herb and she thought she was going in her astral plan she thought about the throne because she thought she was going to run to her mother. But what it turns out to be, she was more like Killmonger than anyone else in the family, and I thought that was super dope because Killmonger was still angry. He still wanted that revenge, and the fact that again the conversation was everything. Like, what, you gonna be noble like your brother? You let the man kill your father. Live. Your father,
like,
he killed his own brother. Yeah, I mean, like.
But he's an instigator. I mean, that's
He's everything he said was true.
Now, don't get me wrong. I loved and adored Shuri's journey in this movie.
Yeah,
but I still wasn't convinced.
About which part?
About just her becoming the Black Panther.
I'm sold on.
You talking about the vision? The
visual.
Not,
yeah,
I think
the back of my head, I was like, you still get washed.
But we gotta get. That's the whole thing, is getting out of that mindset of these are beings that are powered by in that case some kind of metaphysical super spiritual herb. Okay. So it's like the super soldier serum. Steve Rogers got strong, but other people take the serum and they don't get a muscle.
Man thing.
Well, there's other variations, so it's just the whatever you take affects you. Mm-hmm. It don't necessarily don't make you muscular, but it will make you stronger. Like Namor, if you look at him, you ain't gonna think he as strong as he is based on everybody.
But then, like he took the underwater version of that same asteroid, the same.
Well, he was born in that. Yeah,
he was born in that. But then all the people took it. Yeah.
He's the only one like that, which is interesting.
He's a mutant.
Because also